I don't know what just happened, guys. If you're listening or if the notification went out, damn internet, they did something stupid and knocked me offline. So, uh, yeah, I got knocked offline. So I give y'all a couple of minutes and see did the notification come back. I mean, excuse me, if the notification went out, for y'all to come back in. Yeah, the damn internet when it knocked me all the way offline. Just knocked me offline, period. And it's mighty funny it did that because I was on the road. I was on the road. Next thing I know, I looked over there to my other computer. I just seen everything start shutting down. Everything started shutting down. So that's what happened when you're dealing with technology. That's what happened when you deal with technology. Um, yeah, I don't even think the notification is going out. Reese, can you still hear me? Okay, you hear me? Period. Cause for some reason my software ain't picking up who I'm watching, but the YouTube thing saying something. Well, okay, so you can hear me. All right, cool, cool. All right, well, I guess I go ahead and continue and see where it goes from there. All right. Uh, let's get back to where this man said, according to the criminal complaint, first he said Andre knew he was going to kill him. Then he came back and caught himself and said Andre knew he was going to beat him. But regardless of what, neither one of them don't sound appropriate. You get a trophy to one of them, beat or the other one that you said. All right. Then it goes on to say he claimed he didn't know what else to do to get his money back. Andre, according to the criminal complaint, was able to run to the bathroom and lock himself inside. That poor child was scared. He was scared. He ran into the bathroom and locked himself inside. He recalled shoving Andre with enough force that his head left a large hole in the wall. Martina's mother, who lives in the home at 46th and Hampton, told investigators she was awakened by her son yelling at Andre. She told investigators she looked up and saw Martina striking Andre with a hammer over his body. Good God. Including his head and back. So grandma saw this but didn't do nothing. All right. She woke up and saw this big grown ass man striking his boy with a hammer all over his body, including his head and back. She believed the brutal attack lasted an hour to an hour and a half. From an hour to an hour and a half. Investigator made note in the criminal complaint Martina's mother is disabled. Oh, okay. She's disabled. Making it difficult for her to intervene. Okay, well, now we got the answer why the grandmother never did anything because she was just able to do anything. Oh man. Well, maybe I need to take back what I said earlier about people advocating for her to get arrested. I need to take that back, okay? Because she's disabled. So I need to take that back. Investigators say Martina flashed forward in time to when he stopped beating Andre. He told officials he recalled seeing a lot of blood and put Andre's body into the tub in an attempt to wash the blood off of him. According to the criminal complaint, Martina did not recall using a hammer to strike the boy. He did, however, admit to losing control. Again, this is why that woman didn't want that man around her children. Andre's 8-year-old brother was also injured during the incident. The criminal complaint said he suffered a broken finger, bruises to his body, and lacerations to the top of his head. Investigators noted in the complaint Martina recalled telling his grandchildren in the past, if you lie, if you mess up at school, if you steal, I'm going to kill you. He told officials he believed the entire incident lasted from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. You big grown 50 years something old ass big ass bully. And you did this shit because you knew the grandma could do anything. Dude, you a real pussy. And if Nikita get mad at me calling her dad a pussy, oh well, so be it. Your dad is a pussy. You know, and I think you know he's a pussy too, because that's why you ain't want him around the children. Your dad is a bully. And ma'am, I can imagine some of the stuff he did to you. If he went this far to do this to your sons, then ma'am, what the fuck was he doing to you? I hope I can get you on the show and talk to you, because this is sad. This is fucked up. This is sad and fucked up. Very sad and fucked up. And I apologize to everybody that got knocked off. My internet went offline for a minute. I got knocked off, so sorry about that, you know, because I was on a roll. Man. I was going in. And next thing I know, I saw my thing over here pause a little bit. I said, oh shit, what's going on? Then I looked at my other computer, everything just started shutting down. So I said, man, god damn. They need her to get this software fixed, because I'm sick of this shit. Every time I get in the mood, in the groove, they start doing stupid shit. Excuse me. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. You did all of this, and you didn't have no proof that neither one of these boys stole your money. You had no proof that neither one of them stole your money. You did this for 5 fucking hours and still didn't get your money. What kind of sense that makes? 5 hours, no money. 5 hours, no money. 5 hours, zero money back. For 5 hours. That's why Nikita did not want you around her children. You violent, dude. You violent as fuck. You violent as fuck. Martina has been charged with the following: first degree intentional homicide, physical abuse of a child, repeated acts causing death, neglecting a child, consequences is death, physical abuse of a child, repeated acts with high probability of great bodily harm, possession of a firearm by a felon. Then he had a firearm and he a felon. Boy, it just get better, don't it? This shit just get better, don't it? This shit just get better. You beating on young men at 3 a.m. in the morning. I can even understand it if you woke them up because they forgot to wash dishes, because that happened to me before. I can get that because you teach them morals. You know, when I ask you to do something, that's what I want you to do. But you did this because you thought they stole from you. And again, still ain't got no proof. Where the shit don't even matter now because they gone. This shit don't even matter now because they gone. Well, he gone. Excuse me. He's gone. Not them. He's gone.
I don't understand why somebody would do that to a child. Treating him like he was nothing.
Today, the grieving family of 12-year-old Andrez Smith Jr. learned that the boy's grandfather has been arrested for the brutal attack that killed him. And the details of that attack are shocking. The Milwaukee boy was beaten and killed with a hammer and other tools. CBS 58's Melissa Zigowetz is live outside MPD with the criminal charges he is now facing. Melissa.
Natalie, 53-year-old Andrez Martina is charged with first-degree murder and 4 other counts related to child abuse. We want to warn you, the details of this story are graphic.
He asked me for the chance to,
Oh, Lord, that's
get to know his grandkids.
Alicia McCroy is 12-year-old Andrez Smith Jr.'s grandmother. She has had full custody of him since 2017.
Smart kid, very smart, bright. Just love people, love life.
McCroy says Andre and his siblings were just getting to know their grandfather, 53-year-old Andrez Martina. He moved back to Milwaukee in May.
Before that, I had no relationship with him.
McCroy admits Martina had a past, but never knew he could be this violent.
It's just heartbreaking. It's more heartbreaking for the sibling that's seen it.
According to the criminal complaint, Martina admitted to police he lost control on Andre. Martina allegedly requested he and his brother stay the night so they could get school supplies the next morning. According to the criminal complaint, Martina accused Andre of stealing money, and the beating started.
Who knew he would be this evil? The things he did to my nephew was pure evil.
The criminal complaint says Andre was struck in the head with a mallet, sledgehammer, cane, and a coat rack. Martina also choked him with a belt. Andre's 8-year-old brother was also seriously injured when he was beaten.
We just blaming ourselves for just not being there.
Nia Moore is Andre's aunt. She responded to the house after receiving a text Andre was bleeding.
When I got there, it was horrific.
The family is still shocked and wants full justice for Andre.
We ready to look this person in the face and finish telling him that you going to jail for life.
The great-grandmother of Andre was also in the home at the time of the beating. She detailed the event to police but was unable to intervene because she is disabled. Reporting live from Milwaukee, Melissa Zigowetz, CBS 58 News.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. For the people who's watching now and for the people who's going to watch this later on, how many of y'all think or you feel, he didn't bring the boys over there because he going to get them school supplies? How many of y'all think that maybe in his head he planned this? And on top of that, maybe he had something against his daughter. The reason why he did this. How many of y'all might say I may be on to something when I say that? Could it be a possibility this whole thing was set up, not by the grandmother, but him? He wanted the boy to spend the night at his house. Not because no damn school supplies. He already had it planned that he was going to hurt these boys. And could it be a possibility he said had something against the daughter? Think about it. The daughter said, I don't want him around. So that should tell you enough that something was going on between him and the daughter. They weren't getting along or whatever the case may have happened. So did he take that as an opportunity to say, well, you don't want to fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with your kids. I'm going to get you where it hurt you most. And that's exactly what he did. Not saying that this is, but we think outside the box. Do we really think this was for school supplies or this was planned? Because it almost sounds like this was planned. The more I hear them say, I want them to spend the night in my house, the more now I'm thinking this shit was planned. Because think about it. You knew the grandmother was disabled. You knew she couldn't do nothing. You knew you were hot head. Or like one of y'all said earlier before I got cut off, he might have been drunk. But ain't nobody said that yet. Now, I like how the Auntie just said, you know, I think she said, I feel we all failed him. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Auntie, because you probably didn't know he was over there. Or maybe you did. I don't know. But you just Auntie. It's only so much you can do. So I don't feel like you should blame yourself. All right? I don't think you should blame yourself. But now that I'm hearing that Aisha, whatever her name is, the grandmother, now she's disabled, I don't even know if it's fair to blame her now. But then again, I think it is because she knew. She knew, and she just said herself in there, I never really had a relationship with him. At that point, I wish the grandma would have been like, call the daughter. Hey, Martina over here, he want to see the boy, blah, 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 blah. And if the mom said, do not let that man around them, then you should have went on ahead and did what the mom asked you to do. Don't let that man around them. All right? This is crazy. This is sad. And I think this is another story that could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. So we got a few things we could look at right here. Did he plan this? You know, some of y'all might say maybe grandma was in on it. I don't know if I go that far and say that. I don't know. Was he high? Was he drunk? Was his vendetta? And I also want to know, why did the mom did not have her kids? I'm very curious about that. Or Reese, do you already know that answer? Reese, do you already know the answer why she did not have the children? And if you can, people, get the thumbs up here. Bring people over here. I'm about to go back and rename the title to a continuation since we got knocked offline. In Milwaukee. This is in Milwaukee. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. because you thought this young man stole your money. You thought he stole your money. $3 a.m. to 5 a.m. because you thought this man stole your money. I mean, excuse me, you thought this young man stole your damn money. You thought he stole your money. You did all this because you thought he stole your money. Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Totally fucking amazing. And what I was saying before we got cut off, ladies, your dad was abusive to you and you don't feel comfortable around your children. Don't be ashamed. Men, your mom was abusive to you and you don't feel comfortable with her being around your children. Don't be ashamed because what you've been through. And see, that's another thing right there. They think or tend to believe that when we get older, we forget what they done. Nobody forget shit that you done, especially if something so horrific. Who gonna forget this? Now let's say my daddy slapped me upside my head with a hammer. You think that's some shit I'm gonna forget? Hell no. I might not bring it up all the time, but that ain't shit I'm gonna forget. That's not shit I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forever remember that you did that fucked up shit to me. You hit me in the head with a hammer. That's nothing we gonna forget. Just like animals, your pets, they know you do dirty shit to them. They know that and they remember that shit. Children do too. I'm about to forget this shit. Oh shit. Yeah, no, nobody forget that shit. Nobody forget that shit. You did that dirty ass shit to him. Like, nobody forget that shit. Andrez Martina, suspect in Hammer murder of grandson, had prior homicide case. Let's see if they're going to talk about his prior homicide case. The grandfather, Andrez Smith Jr., is the suspect accused of bludgeoning the boy to death with a hammer, a law enforcement source told Wisconsin Right Now. The boy's aunt and mother also identified Martina as the suspect on social media. A multiple-time felon, at least 4 times over, convicted of drug dealing, and was arrested years ago for homicide, which raises the question of how he was able to assess the child who was under the supervision of Child Protective Services. He was also a habitual criminal. And Grandma she looked past all this and she forgave him. Grandma forgave him and still let the children go around him, and he's a habitual criminal. She still let him do that? Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. The details of the crime are horrific. Read the criminal complaint here. I'll do this some other time. The criminal complaints now charge Martina with a series of crimes in connection with Andrez's death. Martina is accused. I want to see what he did back in 1989. Court records show that he was convicted of a charge on the Wisconsin statutes, according to online records, in the first-degree intentional homicide statute. The clerk at the courthouse told Wisconsin Right Now that Andrez Martina was charged with first-degree intentional homicide in that case. Our source confirmed that he was arrested for first-degree intentional homicide on June 11, 1989. The case is converted in the system because it's so old. We've ordered to get additional details on what happened. We also contacted the Department of Corrections to get his prison history. The State Department of Corrections spokesman, John Beer, said Martina was sent to prison on a homicide reckless conduct conviction in 1990. He had a mandatory release date of August 1994. He was in and out of DOC custody over the years, starting in 1990. He's no longer on supervision by DOC. Andrez Martina was once quoted in this story about an apartment building where he used to live in South Bend, Indiana. His full name is Andrez Daniel Martina. We ran his record in the Indiana too and only came up with an eviction. We reached out to CPS to find out why the grandfather had access to the children and why the mother's concern wasn't addressed. She told local media she tried repeatedly to reach CPS and didn't want the suspect around her kids. Asking a series of questions, they refused to answer them. I bet they did. But did release this brief report. This is what CPS said. That's because the Wisconsin Department of the Children and Families is required by law to report all cases of death, serious injury, or egregious incident of maltreatment of children under the care of the Child Protective Services system. Their database lists 1,090 such cases involving children in its care throughout Wisconsin. There were other recent cases in Milwaukee County, the death of a 2-year-old on August the 1st, and the death of a 9-month-old the same day. There have been 10 cases counting those and Andre in Milwaukee County this year to date, and the 13 in 2020. There were 15 in 2019 and 31 in 2018. Due to confidentiality requirements defined in Section 48.78, 48.981 of Wisconsin state statutes, the Department of Children and Families cannot confirm or deny if this family has been involved in any child welfare investigation or provide any information other than what is provided in the public notification for cases that qualify for exceptions outlined in the Wisconsin statutes. They told Wisconsin Right Now the child's aunt told WISN TV that he was beaten in the head with a hammer inside a home near 46th Street and Hampton Avenue in Milwaukee. Kakima, I guess Martina, the child's stepbrother, said the suspect was an adult relative who accused the child of taking cash. My son just died today. Andre was beat to death with a hammer by biological dad. Pray for me. His mother wrote on Facebook. She lives in Georgia. She also shared a photo identifies the suspect as Martina. Wow, look at that. His criminal history. The boy's mother, Nikita, lost custody of Andre and lives in Georgia, which said different family members had separate vigils for the child. She told the television station that he was hit by a car on July the 4th, and she had been calling CPS every week with concerns, but nobody listened to me. She said the grandmother has custody of Andre and his siblings, and that she sent Andre's guardian text message asking her not to allow the grandfather around her kids. This is no mention of Andre's father in the news story. This is Andre Martina criminal history in Wisconsin in addition to the homicide case. Felony bail jumping. Felony marijuana dealing convicted 2006. Felony marijuana possession 1999. Felony marijuana dealing more than 500 grams as a habitual criminal in 1994. Substantially causing bodily harm to another felony conviction 1986. The homicide case in 1986. Milwaukee police say they are investigating the homicide that occurred on Saturday, August 29th. Again, pretty much, this young man was handed to this dude on a silver platter. He handed his boy over to him on a silver platter, so I don't know what else to say. This is crazy and this is ridiculous. And just no excuse for it. No excuse for it whatsoever. But I don't think he's getting out. So, but however, if the mom sees this, and I hope she do. Well, I ain't telling anybody who sees this. My doors are open for y'all to come out, speak on this story. And anything that I have gotten wrong in this story, I don't mind being stand corrected. I don't mind at all. 'Cause this is fucked up. This is fucked up. All right. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for tonight, unless any updates come up probably later on tomorrow or something. That's gonna be it for tonight. I'll probably take both of these videos and edit them and put it all together, just making one show, and probably run it back as a premiere or something. But I asked the question again for the people who want to watch this later on. Now that you heard this and you hear the thing that's going on, do you think this man already had a plan to kill these children? Or was he trying to turn a new leaf and get involved in their life? I'll leave y'all with that question. I'm your man, Chris Storm. Thank y'all for listening. And, man, y'all be safe out there, man. And watch who y'all bring around your kids. All right. Y'all take care.